How's it going, guys? Andrew here with Justified EDC, and today this is a special video. This is going to be a little bit of admittedly shameless self-promotion. This is not going to be a review or an overview of anything that a maker sent me or I bought myself or anything. This is actually going to be a review or more just kind of showing off and advertising a little bit of my products. So for those of you who aren't aware, I did make a community post a couple days ago. If you aren't aware, outside of doing YouTube and my Instagram page and everything, I also co-own a small 3D printing business with my father. So we started this back in, I think, 2020, he started to get into 3D printing 2020, and then I think we ended up launching the business either late 2020, early 2021 or something like that. It was pretty active. We had a lot of products, the things we're selling. And then we had to take a bit of a hiatus. I got married, and there were some changes in our job schedules, and both of my parents were sick for a while, so it kind of got put on the back burner because we both had day jobs, and the other priorities just came up. But we updated a bunch of our products. We have some new stuff that's coming out. We have some new stuff that's actually live right now. But I just wanted to use, my platform here. And, I got a decent following here now on Instagram. I just wanted to show this stuff off to you guys. Again, this is not going to be like, I want you guys to know that even though this is my stuff, these are my products, I will never lie to you guys about what they're for or their capabilities or shortcomings or anything like that. I just wanted to kind of get this out here just to kind of show it off. And, we have a website where you guys can go and purchase all of this stuff. We have an Instagram where we show a lot of the stuff off. We show a lot of the behind the scenes of the shop and how things are printed, stuff like that. We also just launched a YouTube channel. We're going to do some, my dad kind of does more of the technical aspects of building the printers and, fine-tuning that kind of stuff. I help with a lot of the design and the social media and the marketing and that kind of thing. So, I want you guys to be able to kind of go and check all this stuff out for yourself and see if this is anything that will be useful for you. So a lot of this admittedly is a little bit niche. A lot of what we do is we focus on like NPE, non-permissive environment stuff. So things that are non-metallic, and things that you can use to defend yourself in situations where more conventional weapons aren't an option. We also have just some cool stuff. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to go over each of the products individually. If you're interested, I will have links to our website, our Instagram, and our YouTube down below. Our YouTube, we have some more product-specific videos. We're going to start posting more content on there. But pretty much everything I'm showing you here, minus this guy right here, which these will be back in stock soon. Everything I'm going to show you guys here is in stock on the website. So if you're interested in anything I go over here, please go ahead and check it out. But we're going to go over things one at a time here. First of all, one thing I wanted to address is some misconceptions about 3D printing. So admittedly, up until a couple of years ago, I wasn't really familiar with how 3D printing worked. It's something called additive manufacturing. So normally, standard manufacturing is you're taking a piece of material and you're taking away everything. You ever heard about where they talk about the guy, I think it's Michelangelo who did the David statue, where they asked him, how did you create the David statue? And he said, I started carving until I got rid of everything that wasn't David. That's how conventional manufacturing works, is you have material, and you're machining it or doing other processes to it and taking material away. Additive manufacturing is you start with nothing, and you have material and you build your product from the ground up. So all of these are plastics, but when you hear plastic, you often think cheap or weak or brittle or anything like that. 3D printing and plastic technology has come a long way, especially in the last couple of years. So we'll kind of go over some of the different filaments and their applications and what they're good at. And again, if you guys have any questions about any of this stuff, please go ahead and leave it down below. I'll try to help answer all of that as best I can. So let's just go over one thing at a time here. So you know what? Let's start with the knuckles, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to clear some of this stuff off of here so we can go one thing at a time. give me a second here, guys. Sorry. So these are our main two knuckle designs. So you have kind of like a conventional knuckle duster, and then you have this single finger knuckle, which, you know, sometimes you hear them called Apaches or stuff like that. They have a lot of French history and with French gangs and stuff like that. Fred Perrin is a big proponent of these. So traditionally, knuckle dusters serve two purposes. One, they're usually made of lead or brass, or they're usually, not lead, sorry, they're usually cast from like aluminum or brass or steel or something like that. So they add weight to a punch, and they also protect your hand. They brace your palms so that you're not contacting bone. So it protects your hand, and it also gives you a little bit added weight. Obviously, with 3D printed, these are all going to be very lightweight. So just as an example here, I'm going to go ahead and give you some weights on this kind of stuff. So one of our knuckle dusters here, we call these the jack-o'-lantern, just because we designed it very much is reminiscent of a pumpkin with the jack-o'-lantern face. 0.7 ounces, so less than an ounce in weight. Similarly here with our cavi claws, as we call them. Again, 0.6 ounces. So these are all very lightweight. So where you often get the added bonus of, you know, kind of packing your fist there, you're doing like a fist load, you don't get the weight benefit, but what you do get is something that protects your hand and does add kind of what's the word I'm looking for here? Kind of pinpointing all the force into one area. So these are going to be good for, these are all completely non-metallic. There is no metal in here. We have gotten these through many a metal detector, many a security checkpoint. It is possible to do that. So your knuckle dusters here, they're relatively thin. We used to make these a little bit thicker, and we had a thin model as well, and we kind of figured this is the easiest to carry. It's very flat. You can easily stick this in any of your pockets. You know, you put like a handkerchief over it or something like that. Kind of breaks up the outline. It's very lightweight. It's very easy to carry. You can very easily get these through checkpoints, especially these smaller ones. So the jack-o'-lanterns here, all of these are in ABS, which ABS plastic is very strong. It's also very heat resistant, kind of your basic printer filaments or stuff like PLA. They have a lower melting temperature, so like you know, if you leave them in your car or something in a hot day for a long enough time, they can start to warp. ABS doesn't have that problem. It has a much higher temperature where it starts to deform. So we switched a lot of these over to ABS, and the way we print these too, if you're familiar, 3D printers print in layers. So if you look at the layer lines in here, they're just vertical straight across. Actually, internally, and I wish I had something that I had like broken so you could see the internal, it's almost like a woven, almost like a honeycomb pattern, and they're not completely solid. So you may hear that and say, oh, they're not completely solid. Well, won't that make them brittle? It's actually much stronger to print these not completely infilled, not like 100% infill, and have that kind of honeycomb pattern on the inside, so you're not creating lateral stress points. These are not very flexible. They have a tiny bit of flex, but they're very rigid. They hold up. I actually have one here when I get to my tool chest. I'll open it up and I'll show you. We have some testing videos on all of these showing how they hold up to impact onto hard materials. But these are our jack-o'-lantern knuckles. Again, full 4-finger knuckle duster. They're all 1-inch stalls, so you have plenty of room in there, even if you have bigger hands. We have these kind of points up here to kind of directionalize that impact. So those are those. We have them in 3 different colors right now. We have them in the OD green, we have them in this coyote brown, and we have these in a dark cherry. And if you're wondering, like, you know, the texture looks different. So this is the top of the print. This is the part of the print that was adhered to the bed. So that's kind of the texture of the bed. And then here on the top, you can see where it finished with its layer lines and everything. But these are very strong, and they do add, you know, they protect your knuckles. They also add a little bit of impact to your hit, stuff like that. And then on the cavi claws here, which, you know, if I actually didn't mention here, the G3D in our name stands for Gimli 3D. Gimli is my guinea pig. We actually had someone model this logo after her, so this very much is reminiscent of what our guinea pig looks like if they could hold knuckle dusters. So that's what G3D is for. So cavi is the anatomical name for a guinea pig, so cavi claw. Here, very reminiscent of your like single finger Apache knuckles. A lot of them do have spikes on them. And here that really adds a lot where, again, you're not doing a lot of adding weight to your hits. But with these spikes up here, we had revised these so they're all front facing and they're triangular. These are very tough. They really do hold up pretty well, especially against soft targets like flush and stuff like that. They're very, very strong. So you have a brace here for your finger. You have these spikes up here. You can do raking blows and stuff like that. You can kind of rip skin open, stuff like that. You also have a lanyard attachment point, so you can, you can put this on a key ring if you really wanted to. You could add a lanyard to it, anything like that. And we also, on these new versions, we added this slot in here where you can kind of get in here with your fingernail and you can store a single chem light inside. So again, completely non-metallic, but you're in an environment. Oftentimes what I use stuff like this for is when I go to concerts. Where there's metal detectors, there's security pat-downs. It's very hard to get. You can't carry a gun or a metallic knife or anything in, but you can get something like this through. So again, those are often very dark environments. If you found yourself where power went out or you're in a dark space, you need a little bit of light, you have these little chem lights here to help you out. All of these do ship with the chem light. And similarly here, we have these, again, in those three colors. We have them in the OD green, the coyote brown, and the dark cherry. So these are one of my favorites. If I'm going to carry one of our products on a daily basis, these are often what I carry. I'll often just, like, if I pull out my shirt here, I wear these shirts with the breast pockets. Often just toss one of these in the breast pocket. These also fit in there, and they're so thin, it's very easy to carry these. Again, they weigh less than an ounce. They add almost nothing to your carry. So those are our knuckle dusters. Again, the jack-o'-lantern and the cabbie claw. All of these are in stock on the website. Again, if you're interested in seeing some of the capabilities of these in terms of testing and what they can withstand, both on our Instagram and our YouTube, we have videos of testing. On our Instagram, we actually have some customer videos of them testing it as well against different mediums. So if you're interested in that, definitely go check those pages out. All right, let's go into, so here is so these are some non-metallic knives that we make. So we have two different models here. We have the broadhead, which is a push dagger model. And we have a more traditional, just straight blade design where this does not have any edges, but it does taper down to a very fine tip. You might be wondering, how does that tip hold up? Again, it says plastic. This is a carbon fiber nylon mixed filament. So nylon is extremely impact resistant, extremely heat resistant, and the carbon fiber adds rigidity and abrasion resistance. This specific filament, this carbon fiber nylon, people actually print like skateboard wheels out of this. So if that shows you any kind of durability to impact and abrasion and stuff like that, this material is extremely strong. There is some slight flex in there, just a little bit of flex from the nylon, but this feels very solid. We added all of these ridges and stuff like that, so it's very grippy in your hand. But again, stuff like this where you're going to be targeting soft targets, so face, neck, stuff like that, this penetrates very, very well. I have some testing videos of these going through multiple layers of fabric and foam and cardboard and stuff like that. I think a customer did some testing on some like pumpkins and stuff like that, and we've also tested this against hard materials. One thing that's really nice about the carbon fiber nylon is even if this tip deforms, it's very easy to take it up against something like concrete and reshape that tip into something usable. So this is like my go-to, like when I go to concerts and stuff, I've gotten these past multiple security checks and stuff like that. They go through metal detectors. They perform extremely well. So you either have something like this broadhead, where these all actually do have sheaths. These are all printed sheaths as well. They're just friction fit. They're ambidextrous. You can put the knife in either direction. And they just have a single attachment point down here. If you really wanted to, I'm sure you could get some like nylon hardware and some plastic clips and attach them to stuff like that if you wanted to carry them on your belt. The way I like to carry these, especially this, is on static cord. You can take a piece of like gutted paracord and loop it around your belt, and then when you go through the security checkpoint, you actually tuck it completely down inside your waistband. These also they flare out a little bit here on the edges. You can actually catch this on the edge of your pocket and use it like a pocket hook, so you can deploy it directly from your pocket. Or you could run this like as a neck carry. You could put this on a ball chain. Again, that would defeat the non-permissive, but often ball chains don't necessarily set off that. And if you're just going through like a pat down, it's very easy to put this on a ball chain, have it under your shirt, and it's not going to be a problem. So that is this is the Lance, which comes in this configuration with this sheath. This is the Broadhead, comes in this configuration with that sheath. So again, we do have testing on these as well if you're interested in these. These are like my favorite to carry through security checkpoints. We've gotten these on through TSA, security, stadiums, all that kind of stuff. These have gone through. So if you're interested in hearing about any more of that, if you have any concerns, please feel free to DM us or email us or anything like that. We'd be happy to answer all those questions. All right, let's do next. While we're on the subject of the knives, we also make these wallets. There are some flexible filaments out there. So this is a TPU, which is a semi-flexible filament. And we make these wallets here. So this is out of semi-flexible. You have this kind of divider in the middle. You have a slot on here that, depending on your card thickness, you can store 3 to 5 cards. So actually, while I'm thinking about it here, let me pull out my regular wallet and maybe get out like a card or two that I can show without giving you any information. Here's just like one of my Wise Rewards cards. So fits in there, nice and snug, but easy enough to get past that and pull your card out. You can fit in a couple different cards in there. But the cool part about these wallets is on the back side, we made storage for one of the broadheads. So again, you go in through security or something like that. It's very easy. You know, if you've ever been through any security where it's just a pat down, they often just have you empty your pockets. They don't even look at the content of your pockets. You just dump it out on the table. So, you know, you had a card in here, you put it face down like that, slap it on the table. They give you a pat down. You put this back in your pocket, and now you have a little push dagger as kind of a last resort kind of tool. So that's in there. And we also, on these new versions, we made slots in here that store 2 chem lights, which this one's still a little stiff. These break in over time, just like any other material, but you can store 2 chem lights in here as well. Again, a lot of these environments, they often get dark. It's easy to not have a light source. So just 2 little chem light storages here. We are also experimenting with some of these about holding things like tiny ferro rods or little spools of Kevlar, stuff like that. I'm sure you guys can be creative and make your own stuff that fits in those slots as well. But that's one of our wallets. This is the Broadhead wallet. And I have another wallet here that we'll go over here in a second once I talk about one other product. But right now we have these in 3 different colors. You can get them in green, gray, or black. These are all in TPU, that semi-flexible filament, and they all hold 3 to 5 cards depending on the card thickness. So on that note, we got to talk about these. These are one of our most popular products. This is one of the things that we came out. We only did like a single run of these before we had to shut the business down for a little while. These are what we call our Occam's razors. So if you're familiar with the Occam's razor, you know, philosophical debate, that's where the name comes from. That was actually suggested by a customer. We had like a whole naming contest for these when we first came out with them. But these are just a way to EDC a razor blade safely. So it just takes these standard razor blades. I forget what the brand name of these is, but there's a specific brand that we use that fits the best in here. But these are all interchangeable. A lot of the standard size razor blades will fit in here. There's just a slot in here that they slide in and out of. They're friction fit. But we have not experienced them coming out or anything like this. Similarly, the handles, we've done testing on these where the blade will actually break far before the printed handle does. And the way these retain in here is we have 3 small magnets embedded in the sheath and embedded in the handle. So that just, you slip that blade into the slot there and the magnets retain it. So when you're carrying this around your neck or in your pocket, or just I have one here. My personal one is an OD green one. I don't have it on here right now, but I often just throw a lanyard on there and toss it in my coin pocket. But retention, like those magnets hold that in there really well. If you're really concerned about it, I have some people carry these where they just throw a single Ranger band over it. We can easily just slip that off, pull your blade out. When you're done using it, you put it away, push that Ranger band over it, and it keeps that completely retained. If you were going to carry this in the pocket, I might recommend that, but on the neck or anything like that, the retention is very solid with those magnets. So we have a couple of these purple ones left. We had done a run of these in purple with the silver chain. There's a few of these left on the website. I'm not sure if we're going to do another run in purple. So if you like the purple, at the time of me posting this, there are a couple of these still in stock. But these are the new colors that we're going to. Again, the exact same format, but to match the other knuckles and stuff like that, we have the OD green, the coyote brown, and the dark cherry, and we now have these on just a black chain instead. I think it just looks a little nicer. So, but obviously you can put whatever you want on there, but it will ship with this length of chain that you can neck carry or do whatever you'd like with it. So those are the Occam's razors. These are some of our most popular products. I really enjoy these. I carry one occasionally, so it's a good way. Again, obviously you have metal in there, so these aren't NPE like some of the other products. But if you're going somewhere where metal detectors aren't a problem, but you're being patted down, you throw one of these in your pocket. It just looks like one of those like Android tags or something like that. I'm sure you could throw a sticker on there to make it look less obtrusive. But they're also just a really great way to just have a razor blade around and handy for tests that you don't want to use your knife for, or if you're doing something where you have to scrape a lot. It's just a nice little tool. So those are the Occam's razors. Those are all in stock on the website. And now that I've shown you those, we can talk about these. These are our Occam's wallets. So similarly, they're the exact same form factor as the broadhead wallets. So side by side, exact same thickness, same overall design. But these hold a modified Occam's razor. Same thing, we have 3 magnets embedded in the wallet sheath part. And we do have a single Chemlite storage. Just because it's wider, we only have room for 1 Chemlite storage, but there is a Chemlite storage. Same card capacity as the other one, same material. These are all in TPU. And we have a slightly modified Occam's razor. So if I pull out here one of the other ones, you can see the height difference. It just makes these a little bit easier to get in and out of the wallet. We added this divot in here so it's easy to grab and pull out of the wallet. You also have a little bit more to hold on to with these. So these are the Occam's wallets. Again, the same color specs and everything as the other ones. We have them in green, gray, and black currently. And they all come with just the black modified Occam's razor. So again, not NPE, but a great way to have one of these. You know, if you're just going to be, if you just want a pretty slim minimalist wallet, you only carry a couple cards. You could also just, if you want to just use this as a cash wallet, you could tuck a couple bills in there, and it's a great way to have a little backup blade with you. So that is the Occam's wallet. These are all in stock on the website as well. And then the last thing I really want to talk about here is another one of our very popular items, and these are our knife trainers. So right off the bat, I'll say, guys, if there is a knife out there that does not have a trainer, that you would like to see a trainer for, please give us ideas, because we've just been kind of looking at, originally, like, they don't even make the knife anymore, so it's a little bit harder to get these, but we were looking at knives that were popular and were easy to model and stuff like that, but didn't have trainers out there. So right now, the current models we have are the CRKT Ukanto, the James Williams collab. We did a trainer for that. We have one for the CRKT Abaki, which these are still in production. You can get these fairly cheap. And also the craze that was going around for a while, and I still see people do, this is the Pioneer Woman paring knife. So we have trainers for all of those. We also make a trainer for our Lance model. So this one here, it's the exact same profile as our Lance, same thickness and everything like that. These are in, the solid trainers here are in Polymax, which is similar to like an ABS. These do fit in the same sheath as the Lance, so you can actually train with that like that. So that's the Lance trainer. We only have these in the solid right now, so these are completely solid trainers. But for all of the other ones, we also have a flexible option. So what we recommend is, you know, these are full thickness all the way through, so they're not going to fit in the stock sheaths. If you want to practice your draws, you can do that with the live blade. But we have your solid trainers. If you want to practice on like a bob dummy or a bag or something like this, you have that solid trainer, so you actually practice feeling that impact and stuff when you make contact, and you can practice like hooking and stuff like that if you have a dummy with arms. But then we have the flexible trainers. These are made out of a filament called Ninja Flex, which is a proprietary flexible filament. It's very strong. These will not rip or tear or anything like that. We've done extensive testing with these on bob dummies and training partners and stuff like this. But these are safe to train with a training partner, so you're not going to worry about beating your buddy up. These will bend and flex. They're not going to hurt you. So for each of these, the Yokanto, side by side, they're the exact same dimensions and everything like that, but you just have a flexible and you have a solid model for all of these except for the lance. We haven't made a flexible one for the lance yet. I'm sure if there's enough demand for them, we could do that as well. So yeah, if you're looking for knife trainers for any of these models, we have these in stock right now. But I'd also love to hear from you guys. Are there any knives out there that you would like to see trainers made for that don't already have a trainer out on the market for? Obviously we'll have to reach out to the companies and make sure they're okay with us using their design and everything like that. But, yeah, just give us some feedback. What other trainers would you like to see models made for? So, yep, we have all of our flexibles. We have all of our solid trainers. Those are all in stock on the website. One of the last things I want to talk about here is if you're new to our business, these makers coins that we do are a big thing. So in all of our orders, we ship out one of our business cards with our logo, a QR code to our website. We got our Instagram link on there. We have one of these stickers with our logo that ships out with all of the orders. And then you also get a random 3D printed coin. These we just do, we have a roll of filament that's almost to the end. We'll just burn that filament up making some of these coins. So we do them in all different kinds of colors, all different kinds of designs, all that kind of thing. They're always just like when we're done with that color and we're done with that design, you can't get them anymore. You just get a random one with each of your orders. There's some people out there that collect all of those and have a huge collection of some of our coins, which is super cool. But right now, these are kind of the ones that we're going to be shipping out relatively soon. So if you like these, go ahead and order soon. These are the kind of coins that you're going to be getting. And then we'll move on to other colors and designs and stuff like that. One other thing I wanted to talk here, this is a prototype. And I had posted this on Instagram. If you guys are following our Instagram, you've seen this already. But this is a new product that we're working on. Again, this is a prototype, so there will be some changes made. But the idea behind this is you're looking at this, you're like, what in the world is this? You got this strap back here. It looks like there's some seams. So the top unscrews. And excuse how crudely I cut this leather just because I didn't have a great stencil for it. But this acts as a puck strap. So if you're familiar with puck straps, the idea is with things like axe heads and larger blades, instead of taking your knife to the strop and running the knife on the strop, it's always easier with larger blades and axes and stuff to take the strap to the blade. So that's what this idea is. If you have a puck strap here, you have a piece of shot cord back here, you put your finger through for retention, then you can take this piece here that's leather with the green Sharpal compound on it, and you can strop your larger blades or your axe heads. You can also, it's big enough, you can strop some of your smaller knives on it if you needed to. So that stores away with this cover on here, so you don't, if you have this in a bag or a pocket or anything like that, the compound doesn't get on anything. That's all covered, the leather's protected. And also, this back unscrews, and inside we have a container. So you can, if you were using this for like bushcraft or something like that, you could store tinder, fire starting materials, cordage, anything you wanted inside here. But the other idea I had with this, and the reason I put a retention strap on the back, is if you took something like some heavier coins, or you wanted to fill it with like lead shot or silver. I know a lot of you guys collect silver, but you can put this in here, screw this back down, just like that, and now you have a palm sap. So just the other day I showed off that like CMFTW palm sap. It's basically just a weighted piece of material with a strap that you can kind of works as an impact tool. So here, just with those coins that I have inside of it, I'll give you a weight on here. So with those coins in there, it's right about 8 ounces. So that's an 8-ounce palm sap now, but you can change that weight depending on what you want, what materials you have in there, or you can just use it as storage. So not only does that give you options for, you bushcraft guys, you want your strop, and then you can put some other materials in here. It's kind of multi-purpose. But if you wanted to be if you were in an environment where you can't carry other kinds of tools for self-defense, you can put some other things in here that give it some weight, but it just passes as a puck strap or a container or something like that. So it kind of gives you more leeway to be able to use this as a self-defense tool without some of those weird legal obligations that you have in some states and some districts. So obviously, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not responsible for you breaking any laws. So know your laws, choose to follow them or not. I don't really care, but we are not responsible for what you end up doing with this kind of stuff. That all goes with the same with all of our NPE stuff. Use at your own risk, know your local laws, all that kind of bullshit. So this is a prototype. We're still working on some of the threads and stuff like that to make sure they hold up to impact. We're also working on ways to waterproof this. So again, if you guys are going to be using this for bushcraft applications, maybe like an O-ring seal in there so it keeps moisture out, like if you have tinder inside of here. But these will be coming out pretty soon. So if you're interested in these, let us know. If you have any design input, I guess, let us know. We're probably going to send these out to a couple people that are even more knowledgeable than us to let them test them out and see how they like them. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it in terms of what I wanted to show you guys. I'm really blessed to have this platform to be able to talk about this kind of stuff. So I just wanted to be able to use that and kind of promote our business. If you guys are interested in any of this stuff, please let us know if you have any questions. Again, I'm going to leave links down in the description to our website, to our Instagram, and to our YouTube. So if you would, it would mean a lot to me if you'd go give us a follow over on YouTube and on Instagram. And if you're interested in any of this stuff, please pick it up. Everything is relatively cheap. I think the most expensive thing on our website right now is the Lance. These come in at like $35. So really everything is below $40. Most stuff lands around the $20 mark. So these are very inexpensive but very effective tools in my minds that I've trusted my life to. I've carried stuff like this in environments where I couldn't carry other stuff. So I wouldn't promote it to you guys if I didn't believe in it. So yeah, if you have any questions,